Hi, my name is Chris Kaufman. I'm president of Parallax Financial Research, and I want to talk to you today a few minutes about our ExtremeHurst product on the Bloomberg App Store. It's an application of chaos and complexity theory to market timing. It's applicable to all securities that are freely traded on any time frame, from the very smallest to the very largest scales. And its purpose is to help you with market transaction timing. So we've all heard the terms overbought and oversold, but how much price movement does it really take to become overbought or oversold? And when can you say that a new trend is about to start or is even underway? We've got some of the answers for that in our tool ExtremeHurst. It uses some of the components of chaos and complexity science to answer that question and gets us a much closer answer to the question of when a new movement is about to start or when an existing trend is about to end. Take a look at the picture on the right. That is a real picture taken from Bloomberg terminal on a 30-minute S&P E-mini futures continuous contract with our signals superimposed. The magenta signals show the end of a trend is upon us, whereas the blue signals show that a new trend is about to start. So how exactly do we know that a trend is about to start or a trend is about to end? In ExtremeHurst, we track extremes of positive and negative feedback that arises from market investors, either in contention, supply versus demand contention, or from chasing price higher or chasing price lower. These events are also preceded by log periodic price oscillations. That's what acts as a countdown clock and enables us to get very, very accurate read on when a trend is over or when a new trend is about to start. When that clock reaches the end, the crowd changes behavior. As you can see from the picture on the right, the market, this pseudo market is rising parabolically, but it has superimposed on it oscillations in price that are converging to the endpoint. It's that convergence of price oscillation that makes all of the difference. And these effects are present on all scales. The very largest scale is shown here. This is the Dow Jones chart from 1980 to 87, showing the beginning of a new trend with the blue marker and the end of a trend prior to the crash of 1987. This is on a quarterly scale, a very large scale. These happen very infrequently. But it also, because of how ExtremeHurst is structured, it also works on small time frames, down to the very smallest, as you'll see in the next slide. Here we have a slide of Amazon on a 3-minute scale taken the other day. And again, it shows the blue diamond just before, which indicates that a new trend is about to start. And almost immediately afterwards, you get a rocket ride upwards. And then a magenta signal that the end of a trend has been reached at the end of a small uptrend. These are scale invariant. We can see these signals on all different scales on all freely traded auction markets. Another feature of ExtremeHurst is that the cycles you see going into these events are mirrored on the other side. In other words, cyclic oscillations occur going out away from these events. On the slide you see below, the picture you see below, there are red and green arrows that show where to expect cycle highs and lows coming out away from the bottom that we've marked there with the magenta arrows. We call those extensions, by the way. and the blue markers we call compressions. But the log periodic cycles expanding away from the main signal will last for a long period of time, a period of time roughly equivalent to the time it took to build the signal, which is shown by the blue oscillations going down into the final bottom. All right, now I'd like to give you a little demonstration of our applications on Bloomberg. ExtremeHurst is available in 3 different varieties. The ExtremeHurst application here is a scanner. You can scan all different stocks anywhere in the world or any securities. We have an Excel add-in that includes ExtremeHurst. You're using Excel. Also, you can bundled with the scanner is the collection of custom studies that you can put on any chart. So we'll start with the scanning. It's a Windows application. It runs on your local computer. And it's basically one screen. You select the stock source or the securities that you want to scan over here, what type of securities, and then the scale and the quality. There's some additional settings here. If you just want to scan for today's signals or the most current bar, you can select this. Otherwise, it will scan the last 20 bars to look for signals. So we'll just use the defaults, and we'll go ahead and do a search of the S&P 100 stocks on a daily scale and see what we can find. It's downloading the data for the scan, and then it goes ahead and runs the ExtremeHurst algorithm looking for signals. Now this takes a little while to run, so I usually advise people to run this after hours, but you certainly can run it during hours. We also advise people to develop their own securities list. That's the second option down here, and use that for scanning purposes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and come back to it as soon as we're done. All right, we're back on. The scan is just finishing up now. There we go. Now it's finished. We got a number of signals. Remember I said we're scanning the S&P 100 back 20 bars. Let's see what we've got. A number of stocks show signals. So the signals are listed here with their ranks and the forecast and the valid from and until dates. We'll go ahead and sort and see which ones are the most recent signals. So Qualcomm had the most recent signal on November 3rd of 2020. And you can see from the graph here below, there's a sideways period that ended in a compression event. The compression event tells you that the sideways choppy period, mean reverting period, has reached a critical point, tug of war between supply and demand, and now one side is going to win over the other. In this case, we've started into an uptrend, which it got going very, very quickly here. We'll take, just show you a couple other examples. Here's a bottom extension on AT&T that happened back here on the 19th of October. From that, the end of that downtrend, we went sideways. Next, I'll show you there's a top extension listed here, and that's in Costco, and it is occurred back, and if you float over, you'll see the date listed here. It was October 14th, top extension. You can see the end of this little uptrend, and it pulled back. Let's go back up to the more current signal that is still active on Qualcomm, and I'll show you a trick. You can right-click on anything in the list and go to a Bloomberg chart through the parallax indicators. Well, most of the time you can. There we go. Okay, so here's a Bloomberg chart, and it's running ExtremeHurst right now. It'll plot that on top of the Qualcomm daily chart. And these overlays are available in the parallax indicators package that goes with the scanner. Those two are bundled together. So here you have the log periodic cycling. It goes into the critical point of the compression, and out of the compression, you get an uptrend in this case. And that's all the demo today. please trial our software and contact us if you have more questions. Bloomberg has called ExtremeHurst the stickiest app they have in the App Store, meaning that as clients come in on a trial, they tend to stay. We've asked some of our existing clients to send in comments for this slideshow, and as you can see from the list below, they consider ExtremeHurst to be a significant tool for managing asset allocation, risk assessment, and trading. We think you will find it that way too. If you give it some time, read the manual, understand how it works, we think you'll find that it's absolutely imperative to have in your business. My favorite quote in this list is, "Trading without the tools is like trading blind." We hope you'll try ExtremeHurst, and thank you for listening.